Rosecrans Interviews. It's your boy Noah, and I'm here with Vancouver's very own Boslen.
Yes, sir.
How are you, man?
Good, bro. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you. So let's start from the beginning. How was life for you growing up in Vancouver?
I grew up outside the city of Vancouver, so I grew up in Chilliwack. But my transition to Vancouver was like pretty seamless because it was only an hour outside of the city. But like Vancouver, it's very early, specifically like, you know, in the music scene. So I think kids, it's like a lot of nightlife and it's beautiful. We have like 15 minutes from like Whistler, like the snow from like snowboarding, and then right down there it's like skiing and stuff. So it's really, yeah, it's just amazing. It's a beautiful place to grow up.
That's fine. And was like the hip hop culture like pretty big in Vancouver?
I don't think, it's tough to say. I don't think it's necessarily big by any means. I think it's pretty early. Like there's some like goats there, like the Rascals and stuff, and there's guys like Mercules, Snack the Ripper. There's guys definitely like doing their best and everything they can to put on for the city, and it's working for sure. But I don't think it's anywhere near to where we want it to be yet, you know? So I think it just takes a matter of time and it's gonna get there.
That's fine. Yeah. And do you think like being from Vancouver, does that give you like a chip on your shoulder?
100%. Yeah, I love it. You know, I think I use that. I use it as fuel. Like my not even myself, but my team as well. Like we all use it as fuel to just push ourselves, to really represent like a, you know, a whole city and like just the amount of creators there too. Because I feel like it is so early coming from a place that we are. Yeah, I forget where I was gonna go with that, but yeah, it's very early, so it's dope.
That's fine. And who were some like your musical influences like coming up?
Kid Cudi was a huge one. Kid Cudi, Kanye West. But like my parents, like my mom would play like Whitney Houston, my dad would play like Johnny Cash. So like it's, I don't know, I think my influences always change. And I think that's like ultimately represented in my sound, because I feel like I am in a way genreless. And I'm like bending a lot of sounds together to make my own sound. So like for instance, like we were in the car and we're playing fucking like, can I swear by the way? Sorry. Okay. But yeah, we're playing like Marianas Trench, and then we're playing like Dua Lipa, and we're bouncing Dominic Fike. Like it's all over the place, but I just like music to begin with. So yeah. And
when did you actually like start taking music seriously?
I probably took it seriously. Well, I used to rap, and like, you know, I used to like write raps and stuff in my mom's garage when I was like 13 or 14, and like I didn't hit puberty yet, so like my voice was like really high. So I had to quit because everyone at school would like make fun of me and shit. And then that's when I picked up rugby, and then from there, literally, it was probably 3 years ago when I like actually took it seriously and like did everything I could and like put my main focus to it. So
that's fine. And when did Capital Records like reach out to you?
I'd probably say like a year ago. It was probably like around when I was, you know, released a song called Vultures. It was, yeah, like in between a year, around then. And then we just kind of stirred up like a natural relationship and built it from there.
That's fine. Were there like other like labels that like kind of reached out?
Yeah, there was a couple, but yeah, Capital's the place to be.
Yeah, what made you like ultimately like sign there?
I think it was just like the family. You know, I think like my team and I, we just keep it very, in like a very small circle, and I don't trust a lot of people, but like I do trust the people that like I specifically like I ride with like that. So I feel like just like that organic mentality I brought up, and that probably came from sports. I'm not really sure where it came from, but like that trust and like knowing that if I'm gonna put my all into it, then you will too. I felt kind of that same way when it came from Capital, and like I just felt, you know, specifically my A&R and even the president there, like I felt like the whole team, the organization, they moved in a way that I felt my team moved. So it just felt really natural.
That's fine. And you just dropped your latest single, Chords.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, bro. Can you talk about like making that single?
Yeah, bro. I think that song, like, I really attacked it. Sorry, my voice is really messing up. I'm a bit sick. But that song specifically, we kind of attacked it in a way where it was like, sorry, my like executive producer and I, like just saying, it's Oz, he's like my best friend too. But we attacked it in a way where it was like kind of like a freestyle way, where it was every other song we kind of attacked on this album. It's called Dusk To Dawn. We kind of attacked it in a way where it's very structured, where we thought of like the hook first or the pre-chorus and all these things. But this song, I really went into it with like, you know, I'm just trying to think of like a fun like anthem in a way. And this song specifically, I really wanted like to blend the West and the East Coast together. So we put Charmaine on there, and she like killed it, I think, honestly. But like my mentality going into that feature specifically, I felt you know, I always wanted like a female vocalist on the album, and I thought it was always going to be a singer. But like my executive producer, he was thinking like, you know, why don't we do like a rapper? And I thought that was a great idea. So we just put it on there and we just kind of blended together.
That's dope.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
And when you're in the studio, do you prefer writing your lyrics or punching in?
I think writing, you know, I focus on the melody first over anything. But like even the other day I was in the studio and Isaac caught me just like running and I was just like doing a freestyle. And it works sometimes it doesn't. I think it's just built off like the vibe,
Yeah, that's right.
you know?
And you also dropped the track Deny featuring Tyler Yahweh.
Yes, sir.
How'd you two link up?
I think that song, it kind of basically, well, I made the song to begin with, and then from there we just kind of sent it to a couple people, but I felt like Tyler specifically, like his whole branding and everything he does, the way he makes music and his message behind the music itself, I felt like it really resonated with what I was trying to do with Deny.
Yeah.
So it just felt really natural, and like we sent him the song and he just fell in love with it, and yeah, we just kind of built up a natural relationship from there, and it just, yeah, it felt good, and he just killed it, so I was really happy with it.
And your main producer is Just Saying, who you mentioned.
Yes, sir. Small as can.
He's a part of like the 808 Mafia, like.
Yeah.
How'd that relationship start?
The origin story. I think that relationship started. It was one day I was in Chilliwack. I was at home, and I got a DM from him, and like he only had like 1,000 followers at the time, and I wasn't like popping by any means. I just got a DM, and he was like, "Yo, you should come to this studio in Vancouver." And I was like, "Who is this guy?" I thought he was like a fan or something, if I'm honest. And then he's like, "I'm with Gezin from 808 Mafia, and I'm with all these people." And I'm like, I don't really believe it. And then I sent it to Isaac, my manager, and he was like, "Yeah, you should definitely go. You should definitely go for it." I was like, "Okay." So then I got one of my other friends. He drove me there, and literally the first day I think we made Press, we made Lightspeed, we made Why Not Me, and I think Do's and Don'ts maybe, and all those songs came out on that EP like following that next like month or so, or a couple months. It was Black Lotus, and we just kept working together and kept developing a relationship, and bro, he's just a genuine dude, and like he has the same mentality as I do, so we just connected right away.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And your forthcoming album, Dusk To Dawn, is set to release later this year.
Yes, sir.
Can you talk more about like the process of making this project?
It was a long process, if I'm honest. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I think this project, more than anything, I think it's the best representation of who Corbin is, not Boslen. And I think we really tapped into a place that I just wanted to have more meaning. You know, I felt like Black Lotus, it was perfect for its time and what it had to do. But I felt like it was very much a project that you could pick it up and put it down. And I felt like this project, I want people to sink into like my character and like who I am as a human. And I think I touched on things like as in like the weaker side of myself or even the stronger side of myself. And that was tapped into ways like different genres, as in like hip hop, alternative hip hop, even a bit of rock. Like we tapped into so many different genres and just made it blend into like something that I'm just really proud of, and I'm very excited for people to hear.
That's fire. And what can really like fans expect from you, like in terms of just sonically?
I think people can expect I'm trying to put it into words. Something bold and something that Vancouver has never been represented by. You know, I think like this music, it's very cinematic and it's very powerful and it's very grand. And I think music like this coming out of the city and the circumstance that we came from is undeniably like music that will stand in its time and be powerful for not only my career but the careers of people that share with it. And I think when we all look back on this, and we all look back on Dusk To Dawn and the era of Dusk To Dawn, I just want it to feel like it's timeless. And I want us to use it as like a milestone piece to push us further in like the places we're trying to go.
And this is like your debut studio album, correct? Like,
yeah, well, like it's a project, but it's an album. I like to call it an album,
yeah.
But we're gonna call it a project. But yeah, it's a debut one.
And how is this like different? Like since you're signed now, like was there like more perspectives, more opinions in like the studio with it?
Not necessarily. I think the reason why the label trusted us to begin with is because we came with them like with a vision, and I came with them with like a team, and yeah, the music was already there. I think And when we were like going through this whole everything, it wasn't necessarily like all the cooks in the kitchen by any means. It was mostly just me, Oz, Natasha, Mattia, Isaac, and we're all just, and even Buck for sure. Like, sorry, it's like just a team, and we're all just kind of, you know, trying to mold, you know, my crazy fucking mind into something that can actually be like consumable.
Yeah.
You know. So, yeah.
And why the name Dusk To Dawn? Like, why did you pick that as your?
I feel like it's, well, we one of my creative directors named Mattia, he's sitting right here. He introduced this idea of a philosopher. His name's Carl Jung. And Carl Jung kind of builds on the idea of the shadow theory, and everybody projects the shadow. And basically, for instance, if we're in this room right now, and let's say another individual is here and they're like killing it or some shit, and I like get in my mind about that stuff and I get my own insecurities, it would be like a projection of my shadow, thus making me treat them differently perhaps. And I think the idea of Dusk To Dawn and this whole world of what we're trying to create, I feel like it was kind of built off there, of the whole shadow theory and everything, and it was built off the idea of using that as like light and dark in like the music itself, if that makes sense. Like the weakness side of myself or like the strong side of myself, I don't know. It's like the best way I can really explain it. I think you just really got to hear the music and then you'll understand.
That's fire. And can you talk more about like Vancouver's overall sound, like coming up? Because I really don't think anybody, like that many people.
Yeah, bro, 100%.
Walk to it yet.
I think there's like, well, first of all, when I was getting to the scene, because I dropped out of university probably, I think 3 years ago now. And when I was going into the scene, like the guys that were popping at the time were like Ilya Miniachi, he's a rapper, he's killing it. Manila Gray, BB No Money, and I think there's like, but there's the sound specific. I think it's very early, like it's all over the place. Like Manila Gray, they have a very, it's like R&B mixed with like urban rap, and like BB No Money, he's in his own lane, and he's like had that song. I don't know if you've heard it, blew up on TikTok. It was like la 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 la. Yeah, so that's one of his big songs, and it did really good for himself. And I think himself, like he can tap into very serious music too, but he does explore himself on a very, it's kind of like his personality. It's very like free. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it. And then Ilya Minacci is very like rapping, and it's dope as fuck too. And I think there's so many pockets of music in Vancouver, and even guys like Elijah Blunt, sorry, I didn't mention him too, or even Sharuk, and like, I think these different pockets of music, it's kind of like where Toronto was at a time, where nobody knew where it was going to funnel to. And then there was that one artist, and I'm not saying it's going to be me, I'm not going to say it's going to be any one of these individuals, I'm just going to say it's going to be the person that wants it the most. And I think when that funnel does happen, then everybody will kind of understand where Vancouver stands, you know?
That's fine. And now that outside's starting to like open up again, are you going to go on tour for this album?
100%, yeah.
What songs do you think will like get the best reception?
There's an outro on the project. It's called Dawn, and I think I'm most excited to perform that because I feel like it best encapsulates. Best like, what the fuck is the word?
Encapsulates.
Yeah, encapsulates. It like puts like basically the light side and the dark side of this album all in one song, and I feel like honestly like it's gonna be the best song to perform by far. Or Deny. I think Deny would be crazy too.
That's fine. And are there any like destinations you're dying to perform at?
New Zealand. I think I got like a good pocket of like supporters out there. Australia, and even the hometown. I think the hometown would be crazy. Like Chilliwack too. That'd be nuts. So.
And then when you like decide that, is it based off like your streaming numbers, like who streams where? Like
100%. I think that's the best way to analyze it for the whole tour. So
that's fire. And last question: what's Boslen's dream collaboration?
It always changes. Kid Cudi. Yeah, Kid Cudi. I think he was the one artist that really like kind of saved me and kind of put me in a perspective of being just really like becoming aware that I'm thankful for the music. You know, like when you're a kid, you don't necessarily think about what you're listening to, or you don't ask questions and you're just thinking and just listening. But I think at a time when, you know, my mom was just moving a bunch of different places and we were just always on the go. I felt like the one time I could just put on my headphones and listen to Kid Cudi, it really grounded me. So, do you have an artist for yourself?
It would probably be Kanye.
Kanye?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. He's nuts. How about you?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
That's funny. I'll probably say Travis.
Travis?
That's like
so Kid Cudi, Kanye, Travis.
Holy Trinity.
That's right.
That's crazy that you said like he saved you.
Yeah,
was
man.
it like a Man on the Moon that really like,
It was
defined that?
It was probably Man on the Moon or before. There was one song called The Prayer, and it didn't get released because the sample. It was only released on SoundCloud. And I remember like when I started rapping, my voice was so high.
Yeah.
I did like a cover to that. Oh, it was trash. But yeah, that song specifically, and yeah, like Man on the Moon, all that shit, bro. It really just grounded me. And another thing, man, it really helped me connect with my brother because like I was raised by connect with my brother, but like I was raised by a single mother, and then we were married into a family, and that's like where I got this tattoo from my dad. His name's Chris, and basically when we got married into that family, I already had one sister, and then I had two more sisters, and then a brother, and then like I'm the youngest in my family, and like growing up, like having a father figure around it really helps me, and having a brother around it really helps me. So connecting with your brother, do you have any siblings?
Yeah, I got a sister.
Oh yeah, so you know, like connecting with the siblings is very important. And I felt like when connecting with my brother, he would listen to Kid Cudi and like Pink Floyd and all that all the time, and it just really helped me develop and like as a man and who I am today. So like it goes deeper than that for like Kid Cudi for me. So yeah.
And he's like one of the only artists that a lot of people like say that about.
Yeah, man, it's weird, bro. It seems like every artist is just they connect to Travis, Kanye, or Kid Cudi so much. And I feel like they really influence music, man. And I feel like that's my goal too.
Yeah.
I feel like Boslen, I want it to be not just an artist. I want it to be bigger than myself. Like I want to be the artist that not only puts on for the city and the kids from Vancouver, but I want to be the kid that influences sound. You know, influences like music and the sonics and pushes not just music but like the creativity, like just being a creative, just pushing it further. I think that's like the dopest shit ever. So
that's fire. That shit giving me chills.
Thank you, bro.
I appreciate you for.
I appreciate your time. I really do, bro. I appreciate it, man. You guys are killing this shit.
Yes, sir. Boslen, I'm Kogan Noah. Dusk To Dawn all the way.
Yes, sir.
We out.
Thank you.